Oh yeah. Welcome into your favorite show, Views from the Stands. I am your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and man, we are ready to have some fun on a Friday night. We got the boys with us, G Mike and BC, and we are live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Twitch. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Millions, and we are all over the place. How are you boys feeling on a Friday night, man? It's good to talk some sports on a Friday. How you gentlemen doing?
Feeling good, baby. Feeling good. Got UM playing right now. Score tie 7-up, but it seems like UM's about to go up 14, baby. You already know.
And they are having one hell of a year, man, actually. I'd love to hate on it, especially after what I had to sing that stupid song. But hey, we made it through it, and we're gonna make it through it again, man. BC, how you doing tonight, brother? It's Friday, bro. You seem a little tired, man. I just heard you got off a job. What, your 15th job you have?
Oh, pretty much. But yeah, no, Stevie, my man, like we both got snake bitten by Miami right there, man. So like we
about that.
In that, man. Like, okay, we get it. You know, roll canes, you know, all that fun stuff. Go ahead and put them up, George. It's y'all's year.
Hey, I'm gonna just stay humble, dude. I'm just stay humble. You know?
Humble.
4-0.
Yeah. That's definitely humble and George go right hand in hand, man. Anyways, guys, we have a fun-filled show for you tonight, actually, man. We're going to have some down bad debates. We're going to have some week 4 NFL picks. We're going to have some Thursday night football recap. We got all kinds of stuff, so we got some NFL news. But before we get into all of that, we have to pay some bills, my man. G-Mike, why don't you go ahead and let the people know what you got going on?
Yes, sir. Guys, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips for $5 a month to get you winnings from $10 to $50 to $100 a day. You'll see the link on the recorded episode on the screen. But if you want to get on and popping with it now, just hit me up on one of my DMs on my socials and we'll get you going, right?
Oh, yeah. A little extra money in the pocket on a Friday sounds pretty nice, man. BC, man, you got a great company going on over there too, man. Why don't you let the people know about Brand Desk Media?
I mean, like, it's a little small business that my wife Destiny and I have going on. You know, Brandon Stop Media, making memories that last a lifetime. You guys already know the drill, the gist of it. We got your engagements, we got your weddings covered for photography, videography needs. You know, we actually just got done the other day. I want to say on Sunday to Monday. We're shooting a wedding in New Smyrna Beach on Monday, so like that was a good time, good gig, like great couple that we met. So again, you know, like if you want those really candid shots, really just personalized photos, you know, don't have to worry about posing too much or making it artificial. It's all about you guys. So that's Brandon.
Check out. I like it. All right, gents. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to get into some sports. What about you guys, man? You guys ready to rock?
You already know, baby. UM score again, baby.
I guess we're gonna give live updates as we go, man. We're already live.
Yes, we are.
Why not?
Correct.
Yeah. Anyways, man, we're gonna go ahead and start with and then the hardwood with the NBA, man. We had some big news coming out with the former 2008 first round pick Derrick Rose is calling it a career. Man, what a damn career Derrick Rose had, man. Just looking over some of the highlights, the kid was ridiculous. If you need to go back in time and remember what he did, he was averaging 17.4 points a game, 5.2 assists, 3.2 rebounds, 45.6 field goal percentage, 31.6% from three, 83.1% from the free throw. Easier said than done on that one. Guys, man, he had one hell of a career. What's your thoughts on him, G Mike?
Bro, one of the greatest point guards for sure. Guy was fast, athletic. Was another Russell Westbrook out there. If you guys didn't really watch basketball before, when he was actually doing his thing, winning an MVP, being an All-NBA team, 3-time All-Star. Guy was leading his team to the promised land and the number 1 seed to the number 2 seed, going through the East playoffs. They got to go against tough teams like Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers, and the list goes on and on. But this guy was just on a tear, and it sucked when he went up against the Sixers in that first round in that 2011 playoffs, 2010-2011 playoffs, where he tore his ACL, and it just derailed his whole career. It's one of those players that you wish that he never got injured because you knew he was going to do great things, and especially he's a kid from Chicago. He got drafted to Chicago. I'm pretty sure growing up, like that's what you want to do. If you want to be a professional athlete, you want to play for the city that you were born and raised in, man. You want to represent. Exactly. You want to go out there and you want to represent for your people, for the people that love and care about you, man. And, you know, just show your greatness. And he was doing that until that whole injury came about. And it sucks to see. but he still had a long NBA career, 17 seasons, and he was still very successful. So, yo, salute to Derrick Rose, man.
Yeah, 100%. Just as well, he was also the 2008-2009 Rookie of the Year, the 2010-2011 MVP, a 3-time All-Star, and played for 6 different teams and over his career. BC, man, what's your thoughts on Derrick Rose, man? It's all flowers for me, man.
I mean, for me, it's just one of the greatest what-if stories that, we honestly could ever hear. And you hate to hear that when it comes to evaluating players' legacy. But again, not to be such a downer and everything like that. Obviously, he accomplished a lot in such a short, he had a long career, but as far as like his actual prime, his peak, it was very short, cut short by injury. Obviously, like I've seen a few videos on it myself, like the nature of the actual injury. I think like when he blew out his knee, just looking at from the way he would oftentimes like land, he was such a freak athlete as a basketball player. Not just that, but he also had an incredible layup package. He had a great blend of skill and athleticism at the point guard position. But if you watch a lot of times when he would do his layups, when he would dunk, the way he would land, it was with such violence and ferocity, going to the rim, attacking the rim. But then when you see him land, it was always on one leg. It was never really, he never really learned to land on 2 feet. So you put all that pressure on one leg, eventually something's got to give. And it just, I hate seeing a player of his caliber, of his potential, have his career cut short like that, especially with something that, sounds as simple as just landing on 2 feet. But for what we got of Derrick Rose, it was just such memorable highlights, such memorable accomplishments as well. Like you guys said, he dragged a lot of those Bulls teams that were great on defense, but really didn't really have a second star to help him carry the load on offense. And he really had to learn how to lead at such a young age, winning the MVP award at 22, the youngest MVP in NBA history, mind you. So he really accomplished a lot with what he was given, but I would have loved to obviously have seen him not get hurt, obviously seen his peak continue to get better and better and better, especially when you had young players like Jimmy Butler that was coming up on the Chicago Bulls teams that, we always think about like what could have been had he stayed healthy. So it's
those Bulls teams that had Kirk Heinrich, had Joakim Noah. That team. Those teams was awesome, man. That was a fun time, man. You had Tibbs too, man, and Tibbs just, I don't know if he just grind him into the ground too much or what, but it was pretty amazing to watch him play.
Well, I think that's just Coach Tibbs' mentality. He just grinds a lot of his star players in the ground. And I mean, I get it. It's a very old school approach where your stars play over 38 minutes a night. And I understand it to a certain extent. They are the main guys, or the guys that you want on the floor at most. But, you got to also, if you're up in that playoff game like they were against the Sixers, you're winning. You've got this game in the bag. Why is D Rose out there with like 2 minutes left?
Yeah, 100%.
You play smart. So.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I still feel like it was a freak accident, but no, it's true what you're saying. Like, if you're already down, if you're already up so much, and there's only a few minutes left in the game, and you're gonna solidify taking the game one, why keep him out there for so long? But again, I think it was a freak accident. I think Rose was a high flyer, fast, speedy. Like he wasn't trying to play with a slow pace. He was in a fast-paced motion the whole time. So I think he just landed wrong, man.
There was no slowdown in his game.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing. Like when you play the game, you got to learn how to land, on 2 feet. Like if you land, you're dunking on a 10-foot rim and you're coming down with all that force on one leg. All it takes is just one wrong movement and you're done.
Yeah, on real shit though, honestly, I didn't realize how tall 10 foot is anymore. I think I've done since I've gotten older. I've shrunk. I can barely get backboard now. If I even can. Back in high school, I ain't gonna lie, man. I could get backboard and possibly rim, believe it or not. I was all 5'6" and nothing but calves, I guess, or something. But bro, I can't get even close to it now anymore, man. So seeing these guys jump like that is absolutely amazing. But so I guess the big question that's kind of going to be debated a bunch during the week is going to be: is Derrick Rose a Hall of Famer?
It's tough, man. I would say so. Maybe like a third ballot Hall of Famer for sure. I mean, he did a lot when he was younger, and it was just the injury that really derailed his career. But I think he would have kept going at a pace that would have made him one of the greatest to ever play the game at the point guard position. Yeah. He was great on defense. He was great on offense. He led his team. He scored a lot. He passed a lot. He got steals. Like, he just did it all over the court. He was just a great all-around NBA player.
Yeah, and he was really developing his three-point shot as well, like as he was starting to peak in Chicago. Like that MVP season, I want to say like prior to that, I don't think he ever shot over 30, but then that MVP year, I want to say it was like 33 or 34%. So he was developing not just his, his athletic gifts, but he was also developing his technical skills as well, shooting the ball. But yeah, as far as whether or not looking at his career objectively, would he be a Hall of Famer? Right now, I can't see him getting in. I mean, maybe the MVP is enough to carry him, the fact that he's the youngest, but I don't know. It's just, you need a lot more than just 3 or 4 years to really be great. Although, it's just one of those things. I would have loved to have seen him maybe win Sixth Man of the Year towards the end of his career. Maybe get at least.
He still put up numbers back whenever coming off the bench and everything too. I mean, there was a couple series 2 years ago that he came out and was a heater off the bench.
What was that, 50 points?
He dropped to 50. He dropped to 50.
Yep, up in Minnesota. So I would have liked to have seen him maybe win one more, or have him win at least one ring. And I think that, the diversity of awards, the sixth man, the MVP, and then winning a championship, I think that would have solidified it. But right now, I can't see it.
So honestly, if it was my opinion, I think he's going to get in just for the simple fact of the NBA just seems like it's a hell of a lot easier than any other sport to get into the Hall of Fame. You pretty much, if you played at a longevity, you had some cool highlights, you're going to get in. Baseball, on the other hand, obviously they don't let anybody in. And football, I think football is the most fair when it comes to it. But I think he'll get in just because of if you watch his highlights, what he meant to the game. He never had any kind of off the field or off the court issues. It seems like a pretty stand-up guy for the most part. Everything that he did, everything he stood for, I think he's in, honestly. So that's me. That's a TBD. Do you guys know how long it is to get in, or is it 5 years after retire? That's NFL, but I don't know about NBA.
It's 5 years for the league too. I feel like every sport, it's like.
Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah, interesting. That's gonna be a fun debate to have because it's gonna be coming up a lot more with some of the guys getting in. You're like, man, really, what'd you do? You showed up to play. Good job. That was your job.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to all those 60 Celtics teams that have guys that never won an All-Star or whatever. They just have 8 or 9 rings. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I played against insurance agents and janitors.
Oh, here we go again.
I'm going to say it every single time.
Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards. Is anybody good past Jordan? That's it. That's it.
Well, I told you I don't agree with that.
All right, children, settle down. Let's focus back up.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, we're gonna head from the hardwood to the diamond as the Oakland A's are playing their last game in Oakland, and they finally, surprisingly, came away with a win. I haven't said that too many times in the last couple of years. Oakland has been just an absolute dumpster fire of a team for the last couple of years. They've been trying to get out of there, and on top of it, now they're going to move to Las Vegas. But here's the kicker in this whole thing: they're leaving the Coliseum, which they played for 57 years. You know where they're going to go play for the next at least 3 years? In a minor league stadium. How embarrassing is that? You're going to have your home teams in a minor league stadium. That's just ridiculous. BC, man, what's your thoughts on Oakland on this, man? This has got to be not right.
I mean, for them playing in a minor league stadium, it's about right. I mean, that's pretty much the team we've seen trotted out the last year. No, but in all seriousness, I do find it interesting that the team that, for years was lauded as starting Moneyball, now they're making the most Moneyball move going from the Coliseum, going to a minor league park. So then now they're going to be going to a big stadium out in Vegas, once that gets constructed and built, TBD on that. So it's one of those things that Oakland just seems to be losing. They're just losing everything right now. You're losing so much of its identity with the Raiders, so much with Golden State, and then now to also lose the Athletics. It's a gut punch for sure for the city. And, you got to feel for it. It's a city that's always really kind of thrived on, those underdog stories, the grit and grind, they're tough, hard-nosed community. So to see, see that identity just kind of go by the wayside and either, go across the bay to San Fran or a completely other state in Las Vegas, it's a gun punch for sure. And I feel terrible for the community.
Mike, man, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I want to elaborate more on that because it just sucks for the fan base, man. If you're a true sports fan and you lost the football team, you're losing your baseball team, you lost the basketball team because Golden State went to go play somewhere else, correct? They're not in Oakland no more. They went to San Francisco. You're losing all these top major sports teams in your city, and you're like, damn, I want to represent a team in my city. Now I got to go I got to drive a few hours to go watch a game, or I got to just watch it on TV. I can't even go to a live event. And it's sad for the sports fans over there. Like, you're just losing everything. And it seems like it's never going to go back there. It seems like all the teams are either going to Vegas or any top major city around the area. So it sucks for the fans there, man. And I wish I wasn't really happening to them, because I know, like, even here in Orlando or in my home city in Miami, like, if we would lose teams out there, like, it would just be detrimental for the people that actually go out there to support.
Yep.
Yeah, and what's wild too is that if when there was like the Raiders, they had some loyal fans. I think the fans just got fed up with the lack of actual give a crap from the owners and the city themselves. Like, it wasn't the fans at all. The fans were heartbroken when the Raiders left. It still sounds weird to say the Las Vegas Raiders, to be honest with you. I think it sounds perfectly fine. Like, you always think of the Oakland Raiders. That's just my opinion on that one. But
and I think when it comes to obviously, like, the fan base is rabid. The black hole is such a mainstay, I think, in the memories of a lot of NFL fans, just the rabidness of their fans. But as far as to kind of touch on, like, with the city and ownership, like, they could never work a deal out for the stadium, and it's just it's bureaucrats and billionaires just butting heads over this stuff, and at the end of the day, the fans lose. So that's the thing that really sucks about it. It's like, y'all can't be bothered to negotiate over. I know it's hundreds of millions of dollars. Who am I to know that? But it's like, you're cutting teeth here and there about stuff, and it's just like, in the end, sport, whether non-sport, a lot of non-sports fans will kind of touch on this and say, oh, well, we need to dedicate all this money to the arts and museums and the sciences. It's like, that doesn't sell and make profits and bring people to your city like sports do. Like,
bro, museums are killing it right now. What are you talking about, man? There's lines around the corner. Everybody loves going to museums right now, man. It's a Friday night. You're out of the museum?
Yeah, Museum of Science and Industry in Tampa is like out drawing the bucks every single night. Let me tell you something.
Man, if they're giving out drinks and other substances at the museums, they will be lit. They would be lit.
Hey, for real though, you ever done one of those laser light shows? That is a lot of fun, man. I ain't gonna lie.
They lit as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is a great part of the museums, is the planetariums. But aside from that, though, like, again, the fact that, though, people just kind of stigmatize sports stadiums, like, oh, it's not productive, it costs too much, this and that. It's like, yes, it's an investment, but at the end of the day, you're not just investing in the sports. You're also investing in a potential concert venue, potential media center. Like, there's so many different things you can use for these multi-purpose arenas, and to just see a city and owners just kind of give up on that, not being willing to work something out, it's heartbreaking.
Now, I want to play devil's advocate on it, though. Like, were there people going to the games? Were there people going to the concerts? Were they having to, like, each week, were they having to bring down the prices of the tickets because no one was going and they were losing money? That's what I want to know. Like, that's the research I didn't do, but it's just that, like, you ask yourself as a team owner, is it worth it to keep teams here because no one is going to the games?
Yeah. You want to take that one first?
Well, I was just going to say, to that credit, you just also got to look at the way the stadium's constructed and built. Like, there's no renovations really that have been done, or if there have been renovations, just kind of been a facelift and not really doing anything. If you've seen the Coliseum, it's a dumpster fire. It's a nightmare to be at. It's a stadium that, like, the fans will go there and they're proud and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like, you want to update and modernize, and it's like, why can't you guys do that? Why can't you just why is it so difficult to negotiate to just build? Again, I know somebody that's not in politics, somebody that doesn't have millions of dollars, but it's like, if you really wanted to stay in the area, then not just the team, but also the city, if they wanted to stay there, which makes me kind of feel like neither side really wanted. I feel like the city, as far, not the residents, but the city government didn't want the sports teams, and I think the sports teams just didn't want to stay in Oakland. It's like, well, when you kind of see how badly both sides really want to be there, really want to make it work, by how much you actually invest in updating the stadium and how much you actually invest in making it a modern amenity. There are always exceptions to that rule. Fenway Park in Boston, obviously one of those. Wrigley Field in Chicago, Soldier Field as well. But, even Soldier Field is starting to kind of get to that point where it's like, you might have to start demolishing it. It's the oldest stadium in the NFL.
Yeah, and the rumor, I thought, actually, speaking of Chicago, they are supposed to be getting rid of that one as well, and updating that as well. It's been around for years and years and years, man. Well, y'all, you guys know I love me some random numbers and facts in this one. So just a little bit, if you're ever wondering, the A's played 4,504 home games. Their overall record at home was 2,495 in 2,008 losses. They've had 19,636 runs, 36,967 hits, and 4,336 home runs, and they managed since the 70s to win four World Series. So it wasn't all doom and gloom. That's better than some teams can say altogether. So just a little bit of facts if you guys are wondering about the old Oakland Stadium, and they played there for 57 years. So it's going to be sad to see it go, but it is what it is. It's time to move on, man. And they just weren't working the deal out. So it is what it is.
Sucks.
Yeah, to me, it really seems like they know for a fact that they're gonna make 10 times more money in Vegas than they would in Oakland. That's what it makes it seem to me. Yeah. Like they just know, they know the numbers, like how Steve knows the numbers, and they're like, yeah, we're not gonna keep wasting time here in Oakland. We're gonna go to Vegas.
Vegas is starting to become one of the best sports destinations just for the simple fact of there's so much to do. You can make it into a fun weekend. You could bring your family. You're not really necessarily bringing the kids per se if you're going to Vegas, but you get what I mean. You could bring your significant other, and if they don't want to go to the game, there's plenty for someone else to do. You can go have a bachelor party, bachelorette party, whatever. Go to one of the games, have a whole weekend of it. So like it's becoming a sports destination that it already has the UFC fights going on there, and it's just becoming a great city for sports out there. So shout out to Vegas.
And you'll be surprised how many families be out there. When my
girl
and I went last summer, there was families everywhere.
I've never been out to Vegas. I don't know if I'd ever make it out alive. Vegas is on another level, man.
Vegas is awesome. It's just super expensive when it comes to food and drinks. But like you could get a cheap hotel because they want you to go out there to use their merchandise and waste your money.
Right.
But
100%.
Everything there is expensive, bro.
Yeah, big time. All right, fellas, we're going to go ahead and leave the diamond, and we're going to go ahead and get to that gridiron, man, because we got ourselves one hell of a game tomorrow night, man. We got the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs taking on the number 4 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa. The over-under for this game is 50.5. According to ESPN Predictor, Alabama is favored 68.5 to 34.2. Was found that one kind of be shocking that Alabama is that favored according to ESPN Predictor. A little bit of history on this game for you if you wanted to know. They've been playing for years and years and years, man. So they've been playing since November 2nd of 1895 with Georgia winning that first game 30-6. Bama has the lead in the series at 43-26. The teams have tied, including 3 of the first 7 times they played in 1901, 1907, and 1908, and then the last time in 1954. BC, buddy, I'm going to have you start this one off. How are you feeling about this game? Are you as excited as everybody else in the country is about this one?
I mean, as far as like being excited to see Bama lose, heck yeah, I am. No, but I think it's anytime Georgia and Alabama, especially over the last few years, it's always going to be a heavyweight fight. It is probably the premier matchup in college football right now. Just 2 SEC heavyweights, slobber knockers, just going at it, trying to beat the absolute snot out of each other. So it's going to be
snot. I feel like you're talking to Jim Ross style here.
My God. But
you're about to start rapping like 3 6 Mafia.
But no, it's going to be, I think, a very close game. Obviously, you got battle of 2 great defenses, 2 really great quarterbacks too under center. So it's going to be one that I think is going to be decided by less than a touchdown. I personally think I'm leaning towards Georgia just because they've had the tougher schedule, I think, overall this year. I know, obviously, you can't count Bama out at home, but if there's a team that is going to be able to compete with them at home, it's definitely, I think, going to be the Bulldogs for sure.
G-Mike, man, we got a lot going on in this one, man. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, definitely the Bulldogs are going to compete. This is going to be a great game. And how Steve was mentioning the over and under, I would say definitely take the under. I think it's going to be a good defensive game in the fact that Georgia's the number 1 pass defense in the league and in the NCAA right now. And Jalen Murrow, he's been showing that he could be a top-notch quarterback. A lot of poise in the pocket this year. Yeah, we know he could run with his legs, but he's been trying to show that he could pass the ball too, and he's been doing it. 590 yards so far, 8 TDs without an interception. Obviously, you're going up against a top-ranked defense, but I'm pretty excited to see what he can do against them because it's either He's going to torch him or he's going to get torched. And then that's going to be the ultimate nail biter in this game. That's what's going to come. It's going to come down to. It's either he's going to show the country that he can throw the ball against the top-ranked defense, or the top-ranked defense is going to show why they're the top-ranked defense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And actually, this year, both offenses are doing pretty decent. Alabama is averaging 466 yards per game, where Georgia's averaging 402 yards per game. But on defense, that's where it really comes to matter. Georgia's allowing only 202 yards per game, and Bama's at 248 yards per game. So, George, you were right, man. This is going to be a defensive slugfest, really. And it seems like that's always what it is whenever Bama and Georgia are both great. It always comes down to defense in some sort of way. But I really like this game a lot. I'm going to go with Georgia in this game. I think that, Brandon, you were nailing it earlier as well whenever you were talking about it. Alabama hasn't really played anybody per se yet. And let's face it, they did struggle a tiny bit against USF. It wasn't anything to get alarmed about, but they didn't come out and play dominant like they should have against the opponent. So highlighting it here, Georgia's played Clemson, Kentucky, and then they had one easier game. And they won both games in that one, and they looked pretty good. It started off a little bit slow for them whenever they played Clemson, but it was the first game of the season, so I think they got it together. So I like Georgia a lot this year. I think that they're going to make that three-peat going, making it look really easy. So what's your guys' picks then? If you guys didn't give it, I'm sorry if you already said it or not, but Brandon, what's your pick on this one?
I am definitely going to be leaning Georgia in this one. It's going to be close. Like I said, less than a touchdown is going to decide it, but I got Georgia pulling it out.
Mike, man.
Yeah, I agree with BC in the fact that I think it's going to be tight to the end. And again, I think the under is going to hit. I don't think both teams are going to be slugging the ball like that. I think it's going to be a great defensive game. But I'm going to take Alabama at home, man. They're just too great at home. They don't really lose that often at home. And they're going to want revenge after what happened last season. Jalen Murray has shown that he has improved 10 times better than he was last season. I think he's going to show it tomorrow.
Yeah, he's actually having his best completion year this year, actually. I believe it's 67.3, I believe it was. It says completion rating this year. So he's been improving on that one. Now, granted, he's played Wisconsin here. He's played, I think, Tennessee State and somebody in USF. So it's kind of hard to judge it off of that one. Jalen Milroe, if he's able to get the play action going, I think that's going to be a huge factor in this. Now, granted, Georgia also doesn't bite on a lot of things, so I think it's going to be difficult on both ends of this one. And Carson Beck's a pretty damn good quarterback as well. Carson Beck in the game that they played against number 14 Clemson had his best game of the season so far. He went 23 of 33, 278, 2 touchdowns, and a QBR 92.3. So it's not like the big lights are scare him off. He's been there since last year. He's been balling for a while. So I think Carson Beck is going to be a big determining factor in this one as well. So I'm excited for the game. But yeah, I'm sticking with Georgia in this one to win it.
Carson Beck might be the number 1 pick, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
right now.
That's definitely a strong possibility, especially if they win again. Then he's going to be a lot of people will be knocking on the door for him, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move from the college game up to the pros, man, and we love some NFL, man. But this year's been a really surprising year. We've had actually 5 unbeaten teams, which shocked the hell out of me on that one. So the unbeaten teams this year right now are Kansas City, Buffalo. We have Minnesota. We have Seattle. And forgive me, what was the last one? It just slipped in my mind here. You guys help me out here on this one, but Minnesota. Yeah. Anyways. We have 5 unbeaten teams. It's we didn't see that one coming. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion on who you think is going to get. Oh, Pittsburgh. Excuse me, Pittsburgh. Oh. Idiot. That's why. Spoiler. That's why I picked actually.
I was thinking hard too. I'm like,
it's such a surprise though. Kansas City.
I didn't write it down.
That's the one that makes the total sense out of all of them is Kansas City. So BC, I'm going to have you start this one off, man. Who you think is going to stay undefeated this week?
I mean, you already said it. You took the words out of my mouth. Kansas City. You're going up against the Chargers of all teams. Like that's if they were going up against maybe more stiff competition, I'd be like, okay, I feel like they might have a shot to lose this. But no, they're firing on all cylinders. I think right now they're going up against the Chargers team that I don't think a lot of people would expect them to lose. I know obviously this season has been rife with upsets here and there, but I feel like the way Kansas City's playing, the way Mahomes is now playing with his better targets that he's got, obviously. So I think that Kansas City is the best pick to stay unbeaten.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, the only thing that's kind of interesting about Kansas City is that they haven't, I don't think, played a complete game yet, really. The first game when they played Lamar and them guys, they looked really good. They had a couple games, including this one here with the against Atlanta, where that could have went either way, where Atlanta could have got that win. Kansas City is definitely firing for sure. Kelsey hasn't even really got anything. Mahomes is actually having one of his, little less Mahomes magic years. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see. I would agree with you. I think that they will possibly stay unbeaten. G-Mike, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, no, I agree that the Chiefs will, but I'm gonna go a different route here, and I think Minnesota is gonna remain undefeated, going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'm saying this if Jordan Love doesn't come back. If it's Malik Willis, I don't think Malik Willis is gonna have a great game like he's been having the last two games, just because Minnesota's defense is very elite this year. They've been showing that they can play well for the run defense, the pass defense, and all around, basically, from the linebackers to the secondary to the defensive line. Like, they're very well coached, and I like the ability that they will have against a quarterback like Malik Willis. Now, if Jordan Love comes back, one, I don't agree that they should rush him back so quick after they just gone 2-0. You could give him a few more weeks. You guys are still on top. Let him rest a little more. A knee is nothing to play with. But if he does come back, I do like to see that he will torch this defense, because Jordan Love is the truth, and they're playing in Green Bay too. That home field advantage is no joke in Green Bay. I think Minnesota is still going to give them a close game, but I do see that the Green Bay Packers defense can maybe alter Sam Darnold's play right now, because in the beginning we used to talk about, and I'll take a fault at this too, that I was talking about how Sam Darnold is going to be average or whatever, but
we all were wrong on that one, man.
Yeah, we were. He could showing that he could be elite right now, but that's an elite defense. He did go up against the San Francisco 49ers, and he still torched them there. So maybe he can do it again. But my ultimate standing, if Malik Willis plays, Vikings take it. If Jordan Love plays, I think it's up in the air. It could be Packers. It could be Vikings.
Yeah. And just to hit on Darnold real quick, though, too, just give him some flowers. Like, he has played really out of his mind this year. And it does go to show that, I think, all the talk about him just needing the right system and the right weapons, I think that is something that definitely plays into. And people will hear that and think, oh, well, system quarterback. But I mean, I think any player, any quarterback, you want to be successful, you need a good coaching system and you need good weapons around you. It's very rare that you have you have anything else other than that. So hats off to Darnold for being in a good situation right now and making the most out of it and balling out.
Yeah, and not giving up either. He could have easily, packed it up, and he was first round pick, and things didn't go his way, and it just shows if you work hard and it's going to work. I'm actually going to go a different route, and my pick is actually going to be against my own team, which kind of sucks. I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers they're playing out of their mind with this defense, man. No one can shut them down. They are just playing out of their minds. Justin Fields is looking fine. He's not looking amazing, but he's doing what he needs to do to win. And that's all that really matters. You don't have to put up the stats. It's not fantasy football. It's actual real football. And the fact they're sitting 3-0 and possibly going 4-0 against my Colts, who are extreme roller coaster ride as a fan, man. 1 minute they look great. Richardson's throwing off his back foot 70 yards, and the next minute he's throwing to every other person on the field except his own team. So it's a crapshoot, really. But I like Pittsburgh a lot. It sucks to say whenever you have to pick against your own team, but I'm gonna pick the Pittsburgh Steelers to stay undefeated in here, man.
User mode activated. Let's go.
That defense is just amazing, man. That defense is crazy, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, the defense is just ridiculous, man. They're one of the statistically best defensive of all times right now, man. They're just playing lights out, dude. So yeah,
I want to see them go up against Kansas City, bro. I want to see that. See how that goes.
And I keep on bringing it up because we all made a joke of it about the AFC North, but who's still sitting on top of the AFC North, man? Remember when I said they had a chance? They're still sitting there 3-0.
Facts was.
But they're not wrong there. And they've been playing some pretty decent teams too. It's not like they've been playing some washed up teams, So I think that's
honestly. Shout out to Mike Tomlin too. Like, that dude just continues to reinvent the wheel on defense, and he never ceases to put up one of the top units in the league. So like it's incredible.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. The Steelers are looking pretty good. Mike Tomlin still, with his hat on, he still doesn't age. With his hat off, he looks a lot different, man. It's kind of wild how that happens to him, man. But all right, well, we're going to continue to stick with the NFL, man. And it's time for our Week 4 picks. Are you boys ready for this? Well, we already had the excuse me. Wow, we're actually skipping something else here too.
I was about to say, I'm like, so we're not going to talk
man,
about
that was a diss out you, George. I'm sorry, man. Did something else happen yesterday, maybe that I don't
it's cool,
know
man.
about?
If you guys don't want to talk about it, don't worry. That it was a slow
No.
game.
We gotta give some flowers where they're due. I completely skipped over that one. My bad. So if you guys didn't remember that, we did have a Thursday night football game where the Dallas Cowboys won 20-15 against the New York Jets. They stay undefeated in old MetLife Stadium. G, Mike, you're the resident Cowboys fan, man. How are you feeling about this game, man? Because I'm not going to lie, Dallas did not look that great in this game, man.
Yeah, man. I'm not too happy with how the outcome was in this game for sure. Offensively, they started off slow, but then they started to pick up steam. Even though New York has a good rush defense, they have a good pass defense too. It's not great, but it's in the middle of the pack of the league. Their problem is just their offense. They really can't score like that, and you saw it in this game. They only hit field goals. There was no touchdowns being scored by the Giants. But just speaking on Dallas, man, like, our secondary needs to wake the fuck up, man. They let so many receivers get so many damn yards in all 4 games, and it's like Malik Neighbors had 12 catches for 115. Dell, I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Wandell.
Robinson, yes. He had 11 catches for 71 yards. Darius Slay, he had 5 catches for 59 yards. And it's just like our secondary out there looks like they're super confused. They don't know what they're doing. Yes, we're depleted. Yes, we're injured, but can't make an excuse, bro. It's the next man up. You wake up and you got to do what you got to do. You got to do your job. And they're not out there doing their job, man. And, our rush defense played really great yesterday compared to the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks where we were playing horrendous. But this week we only let Devin Singletary, which he's been having a good season so far. He only had 24 yards. So it's like that's a good thing. But
sure did.
But the defense is all around, man. We're supposed to be a top 5 defense, and we're honestly playing like a top 25 defense. Not even close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was honestly taking something out. If you got to go give and take, honestly, CeeDee Lamb is the freaking man. That play that he made where I think it was like 56 yards, and he just made the defender look stupid, man. When he broke away, you weren't catching him. And then there was kind of a stupid taunting penalty as well. I didn't agree with that one. I thought that was just a little bit irrelevant. It was a big play. Let the guys play. Like, he didn't do anything that major. Actually, here's that CeeDee Lamb play right here. But, yeah, man. And the other thing I would take away for the Cowboys as well was the penalties, man. Like, I feel like that's a Mike McCarthy system that it just constantly penalty. That's going to come back to bite him in the ass if they keep on playing undisciplined football. This game's a prime example. The Giants were in this game almost the entire game. So
if they would have scored a touchdown, we would have lost.
Yeah, it's not going to be good if they can't get their stuff together. Maybe this is a get right win. It is Thursday night football. A lot of teams play kind of sloppy on Thursday nights. But yeah, I'm not sure if you go with it out of this game. If you go that you are more impressed, the Giants seem like they're heading in the right direction, and maybe they're not as horrible as we all thought they were going to be, or the Cowboys just need to get their shit together.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I think they need to get their shit together. They need to get their shit together because, man, I know it was going to be a bad season from the jump. We talked about it before. I think they're going to be 9-8, but man, like, we're just playing horrible defensive football. I'm not worried about the offense, but the defense, horrible defensive football when we were supposed to be a top 5 defense, and we're not showing that at all. We're not even close. We're not even close to that.
Yep, and I was gonna say that's the one thing like I've noticed with Dallas as well. It's just like they get, just looking over the stats right now, you get 1 sack against the Giants. Like, come on, like you can't just focus on getting some pressures here and there. Like, you got to be able to finish the play. You got to be able to get all up in their face. That offensive line, as putrid as it is, like you guys only get 1 sack against them. Like Danny Dirks, so many times you're getting so much time back there to throw. Like, but it was an ugly win. But I mean, to find the silver lining, it's still a win nonetheless, and you got to be able to take those sometimes and just take it as a lesson and be like, okay, we escaped, but let's not just take this as, oh, we crushed them, and we would know. Like, let's learn from it.
So do you think that, I mean, like, I know it comes up every week or so, something along those lines, until they play Washington or not play Washington out. The Giants they have a decent game. Is it time for them to move on from Daniel Jones, or is he actually improving, or like, I can't ever tell, man. Like, I 1 minute, he's the worst, and then he has a couple good games, and then he does some boneheaded stuff. Like, is it time for them to move on from him?
It's been time for them to move on from him.
Man, he's just very inconsistent, man. And you can't have a quarterback like that. You got to have a quarterback that's going to be consistent. And you can put the blame on the offensive line for sure, but he has one of the best left tackles in the game right now. So covering his left side, he shouldn't be worried about that left side pressure. But obviously, you need all 5 on the line. But to me, he just shows a lot of inconsistencies, man. And I know he doesn't have top-notch receivers until he got Malik Neighbors, but dude, I don't know. It's just something about him that he does good, and then he probably gets too much in his mind, and then he starts doing bad. It's just like, dude, you just gotta go out there and
his
be calm.
His face always looks like he's like looking at something else, or like it's like the Scooby-Doo ghost he sees in the corner or something along those lines. Like, his face just always looks like he's shook, man.
He played great this game. He played great this game. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But the thing is that now how's he gonna do next week and the week after that and the week after that?
Yeah.
Yep. Honestly, players with his skill set, as far as like the inconsistencies and everything, the perfect spot for him at this point, back quarterback. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, he'd probably be a great, 1-2 guy at, like, filling him for 2-3 games, something along those lines. But yeah, I don't know if his starting days are there. And Brian Daboll's a good coach too, so I don't really think it's a coaching issue as well, But
I don't think it's a coaching issue.
On a side note from this game as well, the news just came out earlier this afternoon. Micah Parsons has a high ankle sprain. They're reassessing to find out how long he might possibly be out, if he's going to be able to play through it. They would probably be smarter to hold him out, but you never know if they're going to need him as well. And the rookie sensation, Malik Neighbors, also is being evaluated for concussion, so that's another TBD to find out if he's going to be back next week.
DeMarcus Lawrence is out 4 weeks.
Who's that? Parsons is? They announced it?
DeMarcus Lawrence, our defensive end, he's out 4 weeks.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, and hopefully Parsons doesn't miss too much time either. He's a huge part of that team, obviously, and they double and triple, quadruple team the guy if they have to, so.
The good thing is that we have a 10-day rest. So
True.
With a high ankle sprain that could get recovered in half that time.
Honestly, debate we'll probably need to have at some point down the road is Thursday night football. Do we need it? Do we really need it that much? Like, do we need football every week to where we're shortening these weeks for these players and risking getting hurt?
Hell yeah.
I think you're going to lose that one, man.
People want football every single day, dude.
Nah, man.
So
these guys' livelihoods right here, their health.
Oh, true. It's just that.
Yeah. You want it now when your entire team is injured because you played 3 Thursday night game or a Thursday night game every other week in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
just, it's the next man up. It's the next man up. No matter what, the game's got to go on. People want to see the games. They want to pay for the games to watch them. Like, it's the next man up, dog. That's why you have the regular team and then you have the practice squad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I did jump the gun on that one, and we're going to jump to our picks. It just reminded me of whenever I saw the Thursday night pick at the top there. I also apologize. I thought I had a little bit better screenshot here, but my fault on that one. Just use your glasses. You'll be all right. Okay. Anyways, man, so we already know who won that Dallas. Yeah, you know what, guys? I'll go start. I'm going to take Dallas against the Giants. I'm going to go ahead and take that one.
I'm going to take the Giants.
Okay. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and start. We're not necessarily going in any kind of order here, and I promise coming soon we will keep count to this one. This segment, we're actually going to try something neat here in a couple of weeks. We're trying to brainstorm and get it working here. Might be able to bring some people on, and there might be a guest picker, kind of like how College Game Day style does. So at the end of the season, maybe get some prize or something like that. We'll keep a tally, see how everything goes. So if you're interested in something along those lines, send us a message. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Having said that, we're going to go ahead and get to our picks because that's what friggin' matters right now. So we got the New Orleans Saints taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. I think the Saints will get the win in this one. They were off last week. They didn't look right. They started out great, and then I think they're going to just be a get-right game for them. Atlanta just seems like they take too long to get going. Do you see who you got?
No, same. I got New Orleans taking this one. I think that the loss to Philadelphia last week is going to kind of light a fire on them, and I think they're gonna take it out on the Dirty Birds.
I like the Saints defense. I think they're really
Yeah.
good and a really good defense. I really like them a lot. But I don't believe in Derek Carr. He had a great 2 first weeks, and I don't think he's going to continue to do that. And you saw that last week that he didn't really do much. And against an Atlanta defense like this, that they're really good also, I think they're going to lose this game. I think Falcons are going to take it. And I think the offensive side for the Falcons, I think they're really ramping it up. It's like a train getting ready to go and get going. They're starting off slow, but it looks like they're getting that chemistry together and they're playing good football. They almost beat the Chiefs. So
yeah, I could buy that. I'm going to stick with New Orleans in this one. But yeah, so we got BC and myself are going New Orleans, and we got the lone wolf out there going with the Falcons. Yeah, there we go. All right, so next up we got the Bengals at the surprise, all of a sudden contenders of the Panthers. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, comes over and takes it over, and they look like a completely different team. Man, I don't know what the hell's going on with the Bengals, but I think this is finally where they kind of get it right. Joe Burrow starts to look like he's starting to get a little bit healthier, so I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. Maybe a little Andy Dalton revenge game. You never know, but I'm going to go with the Bengals here. BC.
Yeah, I think this is where the hopium runs out for Carolina, and I think that, Cincinnati.
Did you say the opium?
The hopium.
Oh.
This is where the hope.
Like, that's a lot different than I thought you were saying.
This is where all that hope runs out for Carolina. Cincinnati smacks them around, brings them back down to earth, and I got Cincinnati winning this one.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Cincinnati too. I do believe that Burrow is getting healthier. I think that hand is still messing with him a bit, but that offense is picking up. I need the running backs to pick it up, though, man. I need Zach Moss to be doing more. And yeah, he's doing pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I need him to do more. The rookie Chase Brown, I need him to do a little bit more. But that offensive line, man, it's been 5 years of the same crap. They need a new coach. They need some new players. They need Jesus. They need to go and pray every single Sunday before they go to the games. Whatever the hell happens with that offensive line, man, that stays depleted, and they need to wake the hell up.
Yeah, well, it turns out they were on opium the whole time. That's why Carolina was losing. I was wrong. But anyways, all right. So we got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Chicago Bears. This one is really a wild game. Oh man, the Rams are just hurt. I think I'm going to take the Bears to finally get that first win, man.
They have a.
Huh?
They have a win.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Sorry. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I need to lay off it.
He needs some sleep. He needs some sleep. He needs some milk.
Yeah, something, man.
You need some hopium. That's what you need.
Yeah, man. I need some hopium, man. I had all kinds of technical difficulties, so I'm all flustered, man, before I started.
It's going to be sponsored by opium.
Good Lord, man. All right, BC, what you got, man?
I got Chicago in this one. I think LA has been severely banged up, obviously, and I think the Bears take advantage of it.
I don't know, man. I can't see the Bears doing anything to this defense here. Yes, they are depleted, but I can't see the Bears winning this game. I still like Matthew Stafford and what he's doing. Kyron Williams is a freaking monster out there. I don't think anybody's stopping that guy. And we got to see how Caleb Williams is still going. He had a good week last week. Now we got to see if he could keep it consistent against these top-notch defenses like this.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're all going Bears.
Rams, baby. Rams.
Okay, all right. Rams and 2 Bears, oh my. All right, so we got the Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers. I am going to take the Vikings in this one. I think, and it all predicated on Jordan Love. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Minnesota. So I'm going to take Minnesota to take it to Green Bay and Lambeau. PC?
Oh no, I'm going to toss this one to George. I want to hear his pick.
We already picked.
I'm taking the Vikings. If Malik Willis plays, I got the Vikings for sure.
Yeah.
If Jordan Love plays, I think it's up in the air. I do like Vikings defense. I do like the way Sam Darnold's playing. Really proved me wrong. So even if Jordan Love plays, I'll take the slight edge with Minnesota. But if Malik Willis plays, Vikings are winning this game and they're staying undefeated.
Okay. I'm leaning Minnesota on this one as well. I was just kind of curious to see like where if Love plays, who George was having to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got all three Vikings on this one. Skull. All right, man. So we got the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Houston, Texas to take on the Texans. Man, the Jags just look off this year, and I don't think this is the game they're going to get right, man. I'm going Houston in this one. I think Houston wins big.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I got the Texans for sure. And the way that CJ Stroud played against the Texans last season, both times, man threw for over 300 yards, two TDs, no interceptions. I think it's going to be the same thing again. This Jags defense is pretty whack. The offense for the Jags, I don't know. That chemistry has gone kaput. I don't know where it's gone to.
It's really weird to see. I don't know what's going on with them, man. So yeah, I think we're all going Houston in this one, right? So I already started this one off earlier. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are heading to Indianapolis, and sucks for me, but I'm taking Pittsburgh to stay undefeated and beat my Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have just been so inconsistent. 1 minute they look like they're ready to go to the next level, and the next they don't even look like they should be. They should look like they should be relegated sometimes. So I don't even know, man. It's hard to tell with Anthony Richardson. And 1 minute he looks great, and the next he doesn't. So I'm going to stick with the tried and true here. Pittsburgh Steelers to win in a close game against Indy.
Yep, Pittsburgh winning a defensive battle. That's my pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Pittsburgh defense for sure. They're phenomenal right now. I just feel like playing in Indianapolis is tough. You never know what you're gonna get about any team that plays there. And I think this is the type of game that you take the underdog in this one. So I'm gonna go with the Colts, man. I think they're gonna.
Well, thank you.
I think they're gonna do some work against this defense. I think the defense, again, like I said, phenomenal. I think they're just gonna have an off day. Some teams have that, and then the offense is not going to really show much against Indianapolis' defense.
All right, so now we got the Denver Broncos taking on the New York Jets Jets. Man, I'm going to take the Jets in this one. The Jets are starting to seem like they're getting their stuff together a little bit. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, every game looks a little bit more healthier, kind of like Kirk Cousins. That was a pretty catastrophic injury. So I think that they're starting to come into their own a little bit. So I'm going to take the Jets in this.
Yep, I agree. I think Denver, obviously coming off the win against the Bucs, they're probably feeling really good about themselves, feeling themselves maybe a bit too much. And I think Aaron Rodgers kind of helps smack them back to reality a little bit.
Yeah, the way that Aaron Rodgers played last week, man, that guy was on a tear, bro. And the way that he was throwing the ball, that's beautiful, bro, beautiful. And then the Jets defense, man, they've been amazing the last 2 years, and I don't think that's going to stop or slow down. And against a rookie quarterback like this, I seen Bo Nix throwing for like 112 yards, and that's it.
Yeah, we were all pretty high on Bo Nix to start the season. It just seems like he's not necessarily ready yet either. He's just kind of getting to his own, But
yeah, he's
he
going
played
through
a lot of college,
emotions.
but it's all right, so next up we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. This one's going to be an interesting game here. I don't really know what to think because 1 minute Philly looks dominant, and then the next their defense is pretty porous at times. They're backing at least, But if you ask CJ Gardner-Johnson last week, he had a lot to say about that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Bucks in this one to win, get right game for them as well. They started out pretty great, fell off a little bit, but I think they're going to get back on track on this one, get a win.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think last week with Denver, that just kind of, that was a wake-up call for them to, get their act together and not just assume that they're going to go in there and win every team. They fell for the trap game, and I think now this is the revenge game where they come back out and they win the rubber match against Philadelphia. And just looking at some of the injury reports for both squads, I think that for Philly, obviously not having Devonta Smith and then A.J. Brown and Lane Johnson being questionable, I think those are going to be two really big, important factors in this game. So I think that with basically based off who's injured and who's not, I would say the Bucs have the slight edge. So I'm going to give the nod to them.
Yeah, the Bucs right now, they're going to have the slight edge for sure. Devontae Smith, out, like you said. A.J. Brown's going to be out too. I don't think they'll bring him back for this game because they know it's going to be a dogfight and they don't want to risk it. Lane Johnson, he's not going to play at all. And I think the Bucs are just going to stack the box, and Saquon Barkley's going to have a tough game, and Philly's not going to be able to score much. I got the Bucs at home.
Yeah,
I mean, they still do have Jahan Dotson. They just signed him. He's yet to have like a big game yet, so maybe this is his breakout. And Dallas Goedert's been playing pretty well, but yeah, I'm sticking with the Bucs as well.
Well, and to kind of comment on that too, like shout out to Zion McCollum as well for the Bucs. Like he's their CB1 right now, has been balling out, so it'll be interesting to see see if he can continue the momentum he's got, or if maybe John Dotson finds a way to give him some trouble on Sunday.
Yeah. So we got actually surprisingly, never thought you'd say this one in a long time, but the highest over-under of any of the games on the weekend is the Washington Commanders at the Arizona Cardinals. Man, I'm actually extremely excited for this game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I was originally going to go Arizona, but I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing from Jaden Daniels. I think both quarterbacks are going to have an amazing game and a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to take the Commanders in this one.
Yep, I would agree. I think that Daniels, I think just the way he's playing, he's got the hot hand. I feel like that's going to lead them to the victory. I do like, obviously, I like Kyler, Marvin Harrison Jr. I like, all the different picks that they have as well, like tight end. But I think that Washington, the way they're playing, I think they're going to have enough to get the job done in a shootout.
Yeah, this game is so weird for me. I don't really know who to go with, but if I gotta pick someone, I'm gonna pick the homer. I'm gonna take the Cardinals. Both teams are just going to be scoring at will. I think the over hits in this game for sure. Both secondaries are freaking trash as hell. Both defenses are just trash as hell. So I think the over hits, and I'm going to just take the Cardinals just because they're at home.
I'm liking this, actually. We actually have to kind of keep track of this, actually, because there's been a lot of G-Mike going against the grain here on this one. I think he's trying to separate himself from us on this one. All right, then we got the New England Patriots traveling to San Francisco. I don't really think this.
I think we all got the same pick.
Yeah, I don't think this all got the time. 49ers are just going to lay a smackdown on this one. I think that was not going to be too much. The next game we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Another one that we all got the same.
Having said that though, if the Chargers were healthy, it might have been a lot more game to consider. But I think the Chiefs still get it done.
Derwin James is not playing; he's suspended.
Yeah, exactly. And Justin Herbert, the high ankle sprain, I think he's out as well. I think the Chiefs should get the win in here. But if they were healthy, I think that might have been a little bit better of a game to watch. But we're going to move past that one. So we also got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Raiders. And if you didn't see the report earlier, Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, and I forgot who else it was on the team.
George Perez, Brandon.
Yeah, pretty much the mascot. Everybody is hurt and not playing.
Everybody's injured in that team, bro.
Yeah,
but the Browns piss me off though because they're so trash.
And this game, and it's not like the Browns are playing so amazing either. So like this game is like one of those games that you have to put on TV just because it's already allotted. So I'm taking the Browns. I think everybody else is taking the Browns as well in this one, I'm guessing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Browns.
That's what I kind of did. Sure. All right, so now this is going to be a good one here, man. We got the Buffalo Bills, the undefeated Buffalo Bills, who are looking pretty damn good against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills, man. They've been really impressing me a lot, actually. And my MVP pick, Josh Allen, is looking really good. The running game is on point. The defense have been playing a hell of a lot better than people thought it was going to be. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills in this one, man. Moving up 4-0.
I'm going to go against the grain on this one. I'm going to pick Baltimore in the upset. I think that, this is, I know like they've definitely been underperforming so far this year, but I think that this is the game maybe against a really top-notch defense, against top-notch quarterback. I think that this is where they start to kind of piece everything together.
Yeah, man, before the start of the season, I had my very big doubts against the Buffalo Bills, and throughout these few weeks, man, it's just, they've been just shitting on everything I said, and I can't go against them. I can't go against them now after they've been playing like this. And the way that Baltimore's been playing, they're still, like I said, like it's like a train. They're still getting rammed up and trying to get going. I don't think they're gonna take it out on the Bills this week. I think they're gonna have to take this L, and then after this week, they're gonna start ramping it up and start winning a lot of games. But I got the Bills on the road.
Yeah, the Bills are looking very impressive. I was saying when we were doing the picks, though, originally, I was thinking the Bills are going to look a little bit surprised a little bit of people, but I didn't expect them to be this good. So we're moving on to the doubleheader Monday night game. Do you guys like this, by the way, this doubleheader thing on Monday? It's weird. I don't know if I like it or not, or maybe start it way earlier so you can watch both games or something. I don't know. I don't like them playing at the same time. It's kind of weird. Anyways, get off my lawn. I guess I'm just an old man. Anyways, so we got – the Tennessee Titans playing the Miami Dolphins, and man, this has got to have some bad quarterback play going on. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, I guess, to get this one, get the win. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's like you hit the nail on the head. It's going to be off quarterback play, so it'll be. I'm going to say probably just a couple touchdowns at most either side. So, yeah, but I think the Dolphins just have better weapons outside of quarterbacks. So I think that's going to be just enough to put them over the top.
I disagree, man. I think Tyler Huntley is going to go out there and he's going to show why the Dolphins should have picked him up, and he's going to show why he was a Pro Bowler. Obviously, because Lamar Jackson got injured, but he was still out there doing work for the Baltimore Ravens that year. And I think he's going to go out there and he's going to be throwing a couple slants, a couple of bombs, a couple in and outs. And obviously, he got top-notch receivers, top-notch running back, and they're going to flip the script on this Titans defense, and they'll probably score at least 3 times.
Man, the president of the Tyler Huntley fan club down there. Holy shit, man. I didn't know you're that big of a fan. Wow.
Hey, he's good, man. He's good.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't flex this game out. I don't know if it was like too short a notice or something like that, but this doesn't qualify to me as a Monday night primetime game. They should have figured out another way to flex this out or something along those lines. But, yeah, so we got
I would have put that Green Bay, Minnesota one.
Something. They could have easily switched something out for the 1 o'clock games in here. Green Bay, Minnesota have been great. But yeah, so we got BC, you said Dolphins as well?
Yep.
All right, 2 Dolphins, 1 Titan. All right, so in the last game of the night, and this game.
No, I'm going Dolphins. You're going Titans?
No, I'm going Dolphins too. I thought you said you were going. Oh, that's right. Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I think Tyler Huntley's going to have a big game. He's going to throw for over 250.
All right, so all 3
and he's going to rush like at least 50 yards.
Gotcha. All right. That was my fault. All right, so now we are on to the final game of the night, and that is going to be an awesome game. It is the Seattle Seahawks, undefeated Seattle Seahawks, taking on the Detroit Lions. I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with the undefeated team as well. I think Seattle is looking pretty good. That new system they got running is looking good. Geno Smith is playing great. I'm going to pick the Seahawks to get the upset, if you will, in Detroit, because Detroit has been playing not as much the expectations a lot of people had for it. So I'm going to go Seattle in this one. BC, what you got, man?
I'm going to go Detroit in this one. Much like my reasoning for Baltimore, I think that this is the game that they start to figure out. I think obviously they have a better shot at getting the dub against Seattle than Baltimore against Buffalo. But I think, again, it's just a similar situation. You're at home. You're in front of your fans. You're facing an undefeated team, but this is where you get that big pivotal win at the beginning of the season. That's where you start building the momentum on. And that's where I think Detroit, they start rattling off wins is Monday night.
Yeah, very well said. I don't even think I got to add anything else. I got Detroit at home for sure.
So I'm the lone one in this one. All right, I like it. Sometimes you have to walk alone, man.
Walk the plank.
We've been doing it this whole.
I've been doing it the whole segment, brother.
Yeah, you've been walking by yourself, man, a lot on this one. Well, we got one more segment. We're going to have a fun little debate here, and it actually involves Derrick Rose. So we're going to go ahead and get that one started. So this is our down bad debate, and I can never freaking say it.
Man, he's still working on it.
The way we are going to do this one is we're going to go ahead and pick 3 of these ones, or if you guys want to do 1, how do you guys want to play this?
I'd say let's
pick 1 and then 3.
Yeah.
But we can't see what the bottom says. Can you see it on your end? But from here, we cannot. Can you see it on your end?
Good. I mean, we got.
Yeah, this is great production tonight, man. I tell you what, man.
Hey, technical difficulties that happen. I'm gonna look it up in the group chat. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, but
I love whenever you're going live because this is actually true live stuff here. Whenever you can't get your own shit.
For Carmelo Anthony fans, ready? Pay attention, fans. Yep. For Carmelo Anthony, drafted by Detroit. Yep. For MJ, played in 2021. For LeBron, played in the 80s and 90s.
Some of these are a lot easier than others to pick. Gosh.
All right, so how are we doing this, guys? We're going to do 1 at each row or something, or we're just going to pick 1 after the whole thing?
We could do both. And I feel like the one that we would choose is that Derrick Rose never got injured. I'm pretty sure that's the one we would all choose.
That's the one. Yeah, I think like choosing the obvious one and then just like going off of maybe a secondary one that we would like to see.
So, I really like the Derrick Rose never got injured because we were talking about that earlier, but I actually kind of like the state in OKC. It would have been great because a lot of people always have asterisks. I nailed that word right. Next to Kevin Durant, it's always like, well, he chased his championships. He tried to do it in Brooklyn and all these other people. So I would have loved to seen him with the homegrown team that they had. They had Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Steven Adams. They had a really good squad, and I was just surprised they never actually won any rings with that squad that they had. So actually, I'm going to go. Kevin Durant stays in OKC.
Okay, is that your second pick, or you're
No.
your own
Out of that row right there. I'm out of
that row right there?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go BC.
I mean, obviously, my main one is going to be D Rose never getting hurt, just because again, the prime that we were robbed of with him, like you could see probably a couple, maybe one or two more MVPs. I think you could see those Bulls teams getting at least one or two championships for sure. And then obviously, if he doesn't get hurt, he rides his whole career out in Chicago, and I think. And what a better story to write for that city and for a career than to be the hometown kid that wins the MVP.
Hey, there we go.
Championship. Like that is such an incredible, amazing story that I feel like we were robbed of. And that would have been probably the feel-good story of the 2010s, if not, all of NBA history.
Yeah, and so just thinking back on this one, I fixed that one for you. So thank you for reading that off, G Mike, and having my back on this one. So we're able to see it at the bottom now. So everybody's on the same page. Yeah. Woo, it's definitely a live one tonight. All right, man. So
it happens, bro. It happens.
So I'm going with Durant saying OKC. You guys are going D Rose never gets hurt. I love that one as well. All right, so now we're on to Greg Oden staying healthy, Allen Iverson winning a ring, and Dwayne Wade winning an MVP. G Mike, I'm going to have you go with this one because I already have a feeling what you're going to go with this one.
I would love to see Dwayne Wade win an MVP for sure, but I would really love to see what Greg Oden would have done if he stayed healthy, because at one point he did go to the Miami Heat and he was with Dwayne Wade at one point. So that would have been amazing if both of them would have played together. Now, Greg Oden, he was the first pick of that 2006 draft where Kevin Durant went second. They thought he was going to do great things. He would have done great things with Brandon Roy as well, which is another one that they should have put on this when it comes to the injury.
Brandon Roy was so good too. Underrated.
So good. One of the top shooting guards probably ever when he was playing. And to see Greg Oden, 7'2", like 300 something pounds, not very athletic, but he was athletic. And bro, he would have done great things if he would have stayed injured. I mean, if he would have stayed healthy for sure.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with George. Like, I know obviously we want to see the legacy that could be defined with AI winning a ring or with Dwayne Wade winning an MVP. But for me, it's the main one that's always going to stick out to me is going to be either the player that never got hurt, or we're going to find out soon, the player that maybe wasn't in the best situation team-wise and gets to go to a better situation. What could have happened?
Yeah, I'm definitely going Greg Oden in this one as well. I don't know if you guys remember or not the ad campaign that he had, because he had such that generic face, if you will, and he was like, I can do so many different commercials, and he just basically changed clothes and had the exact same face each time.
And it was just like if he was like this.
Yeah, still face. Yeah, that was such a great ad campaign. So
honestly, though, I will say this though, with Greg Oden, speaking of Greg Oden's face, that man looked at the age of 20. That man looked like 40.
Yeah,
he looked age Man,
he actually was Uncle Drew's uncle. He was.
He has some of the worst. He is
Uncle Drew.
Yeah, he is Uncle Drew, man.
He's got some of the worst genes, man. My gosh, a lot of times as you get older, it's funny when you're younger, you want to look older, and then as you get older, you want to look younger. So it's like Greg Oden kind of lost out on that one.
Yeah. He was just born with that face.
He was
with
born
the beard and everything.
The wrinkles on top, right there.
Yeah, man. All right, and the last one down here, we got Carmelo Anthony getting drafted by Detroit. We have Michael Jordan playing in 2021 and LeBron James playing in the 80s and 90s. I'm going to go with Jordan playing in 2021. I would have loved to see him do this stuff, especially with the defense being a lot less. You can't hand check. You can't do a lot of things that you used to be able to do against Jordan back in the day. He probably would have been averaging 90 points a game. I think LeBron's hairline already looks like he played in the 80s and 90s. So I'm going to go with that one right there.
G Mike, you take this next one.
I don't like the Carmelo drafted by Detroit because I know that they were going to be disgusting no matter what. That was going to be the first super team ever. And I don't like LeBron playing in the 80s and 90s because I know he was going to dominate. No one was going to stop this man. But I would love to see Jordan play in 2021 just because of all the naysay on how he would play and if he could adjust and this and that. And just like Steve said, if he could average 90 points, I would love to see if he could do that. That would be dope. I would like to see if his skill set actually altered into this generation, which I think it would, but I would love to see it in person. That's what I'm saying.
As tempting as that is, again, I like the idea of taking a player and putting him on a different team. I do. That's why for me, when it came to the first row, it was tough for me to choose between D Rose and Chris Paul going to the Lakers. That would have been great, but it would have been. But Carmelo Anthony in Detroit, like that defense mixed with his offensive potency, like
unfair.
Mid 2000s, like LeBron might, like, even if LeBron goes to Miami, like it would have been interesting to see like those Miami teams stacked up against like the Pistons. I don't know, like it was just it would have been some battles for sure. So I just love the idea of one of the best defensive teams of all time just throwing in one of the best ISO scorers of all time. That would have just been unfair.
Dude, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tyron Prince, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, and Carmelo coming off the bench for the first half of the season. Then they have to move him up.
Yep.
Yeah. I did forget about how great those Detroit teams were before you said that. So yeah.
I mean, if they win some championships, they probably don't trade away Ben Wallace like they did in the mid 2000s. They probably keep him for a good while.
Yeah.
And they beat freaking Shaq, Kobe, Gary Payton, Karl Malone. Bro.
Yeah. All right, so we'll just run this back down real quick as a quick recap here. So row one, I'm going to go with with Kevin Durant stays in OKC. BC, what you got?
I got D Rose never getting hurt.
Same here. D Rose never getting hurt, baby.
All right, row two, I got Greg Oden staying healthy, which would have been great to see.
Ditto.
Yep. Greg Oden, he would have been a monster.
Monster in there. Yeah, and his face would have showed it too. So the last row, I'm going Michael Jordan playing in 2021 with close second of Carmelo Anthony being drafted by the Detroit.
I mean, I got Carmelo Anthony drafted by Detroit leaps and bounds. Just the filthiness of that team, it would have been unfair.
Yeah, I got MJ playing in today's age, man. If he would have been out there averaging 80 points per game, that would have been lovely to see. Man.
Yeah. I think honestly, the reason why I go more towards Melo with the hypothetical in this one is just because we already know how great MJ and LeBron are. Like their legacy's already established. Yeah. But it feels like with Melo, there was just so much that could have been
left on the table or something.
Yeah. With Mike and LeBron, it's like, yeah, if you stick them in today's game, like, yeah, they could accomplish a lot, but it's like, how much more could they really have accomplished?
Yeah.
They did already so much. With
That's
Melo,
a fair point. That's a fair point.
Woo! What a show, baby.
What a night that was, man. So just as a reminder, please like and subscribe to the show. We really appreciate everybody that's taking the time on a Friday night to watch. We're gonna try and get our schedules all back on track and try and get 2 shows a week. We get the NBA coming up pretty soon, so we're gonna start maybe talking a little NBA action coming up here pretty soon. It's a Friday, and man, it's good to have everybody out there, and we really appreciate you guys watching this. You got anything for the people, Mike?
Yeah, guys, if you want to be involved in the show, if you want to come on as a guest, we'll put you on one of the episodes, or if not, just go up in the comments, say whatever you need to say, ask us whatever you need to ask. We'll put it up on the screen, and we'll get you on and going with us in the conversation. And right now, UM is down by touchdown, doggy.
I was waiting to say it.
Hey. I got him winning by 18.
Got him winning by 18. No, I mean, exactly what George said. You know, like, this is a chance, an opportunity. Like, we don't just want to be one of those shows just kind of like gatekeeps the opportunities for you guys. If you guys want to come on, you guys want to debate with us, you guys want to talk with us, you know, tell us your thoughts and opinions, whether if you think ours suck or not. Like, by all means, like, that's what we want to have it for. You know, it's a show from fans, by the fans, for the fans, all that jazz. And also, too, for everybody out there that's watching, you know, if you're in the Gulf Coast region, you know, obviously Helen just kind of came through. You know, thoughts and prayers out to you guys. Hope everybody's okay, doing well. You know, just hang in there. You know, anybody's that, you know, facing some tough times right now, everything's going to, the light at the end of the tunnel is going to be coming.
Everything's going to be all right. Yeah.
On that note, we are going to call this night, guys. Like they were saying before, if you guys want to be a part of the show, just let us know. Send us some messages and just be a part of it, man. We really appreciate it. And we are out. Good night.
Yes, sir.